Hey class, welcome back. I heard that you wanted to learn everything about the rotator cuff. Luckily, I'm here to simplify it for you. Let's go. There are 4 muscles in the rotator cuff that you need to know. The first one is the supraspinatus muscle. The supraspinatus muscle is connected to the supraspinatus fossa of the scapula and the upper faucet of the greater tuberosity of the humerus. So class, because we're all students of Zoom University this year, I'm going to teach you the muscle movements of the rotator cuff using movements that we do on a daily basis at Zoom University. Supraspinatus muscle of the rotator cuff does 2 things. Adduction, which means it's moving away from the trunk of the body, and the second one is elevation. So if I had a question in class, I would use my supraspinatus muscle, the rotator cuff, and the abduction that it provides to raise my hand like this, moving my shoulder away from the trunk of my body. Additionally, I would use my supraspinatus muscle, the rotator cuff, to itch my ear in class using elevation of the scapula, raising my scapula upwards. The next muscle you need to learn about in the rotator cuff is the infraspinatus muscle. The infraspinatus muscle is connected to the infraspinous fossa of the scapula and the middle faucet of the greater tuberosity of the humerus. The 2 movements that it provides are the external rotation of the shoulder joint and the depression of the humerus. While we're in Zoom University, I would use its external rotation while I'm taking notes. So while I'm taking notes, I get a shoulder cramp and I need to stretch it out like this using external rotation. And also, if I drop my pen, then I would use depression of the humerus to stretch down and pick it up. The next muscle that you need to learn about in the rotator cuff is the teres minor. The teres minor is attached to the inferior medial border of the scapula and the lower faucet of the greater tuberosity of the humerus. The actions that it provides are the same as the actions that the infraspinatus muscle provides. So we could take notes and stretch out our shoulder using external rotation, and we can drop our pen and reach to pick it up using depression of the humerus. The very last muscle that you need to learn about is probably the most complicated. It's called the subscapularis, and it is attached to the subscapular fossa of the scapula, the lesser tuberosity of the humerus, the supraglenoid tubercle, and the radial tuberosity fibrous laceratus of the ulna. It provides many actions. The first one is internal rotation. The second one is depression of the humerus head. The third one is flexion of the shoulder joint. The fourth one is abduction. And the last one is elevation. So in Zoom University, I would use internal rotation for just a cheek edge, going inside, rotating inwards. For the depression of the humerus head, I would of course drop my pencil again and reach to get it, depressing it. For flexion, I would reach to type something on my keyboard, moving the muscle forwards. For adduction, I would raise my hand, moving my shoulder joint away from the trunk of my body. And for elevation, itch my ear in class using elevation of the scapula. But class, you may be wondering, how do I predict muscle movements? Luckily, I have my friend Jeff here to help you learn. This is Jeff. He shows me that flexion is when the joints come closer together, and extension is whenever they go farther away. Elevation is whenever the muscles move upward or superiorly, and depression is when the muscles move downwards or inferiorly. Rotation is moving something in a cylindrical movement. Inferiorly moves inside toward the body, but superior rotation moves outwards. Abduction means away from the trunk of the body, and adduction, like you're adding 2 things together, you're adding your limb to the trunk of your body. Thank you, Jeff, for teaching me that much. Hope you guys learned easily the muscles of the rotator cuff. Let me know if you have any questions down below. Thank you guys for watching. Like and subscribe.